Today, ladies and gentlemen, it's story time. So I want you to take a seat, grab your favourite drink, prepare for really irritating, inconsistent lighting changes and construction noises from outside. I'm going to take you on the journey of how I became an expert. So back in 2015, me and my friend was sitting in a hotel lobby eating some food at about 10 p.m. We had the genius idea of completely randomly travelling to central London in a taxi, which took about 50 minutes, and booking a hotel room at the top of the Shard for 3 nights. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to London or been to the Shard, but it's not like, a B&B. It's one of the best hotels on the planet. And we just had an impulse to just go there and stay for a few nights. Anyway, we got to the Shard. We entered the lobby, and there's doormen on each door and people to kind of escort you to the elevator. We go to the lift, and it's one of those lifts that goes up so fast, your ears pop. It goes up 38 floors in under 10 seconds. So that was a crazy experience. But what really was just awe-inspiring was when the elevator doors open, you walk out and you're just confronted with this view. It's just insane. Floor-to-ceiling windows, panoramic views of the whole of London skyline. In fact, you can see all the way to Slough from the top of the Shard, and it really is just breathtaking. Anyway, we wandered across the lobby to the reception, and we wanted to check in. Now, I guarantee that the people behind the reception desk probably thought that we were a gay couple. It's just one of those things. Probably crossed their mind, 2 guys, last minute booking a luxury hotel at 10 p.m. on a weekday night. It just seems a little bit suspicious. But anyway, we didn't really care. So they checked us into the room, right? The guy walked us in, and the room was just unreal, man. The rooms they have there are crazy. In fact, if you're in London, I would recommend just putting aside a bit of money and staying there for at least one night, because it is an incredible experience. But aside from that, we were just taking in the view, taking in the room. One of the funniest experiences was when we ordered room service, right? So we called up the number to order some food because we were hungry again, even though we ate 2 hours ago. And I'll never forget the waiter that brought the room service into the room. He wheeled this big trolley with really white cloth on it into the room. And it's always a little bit awkward when you order room service. The guy comes into the room, he's there, you're there, it's kind of quiet. You try and make some conversation, but it doesn't ever really feel, good. It feels weird. But anyway, he came in and he lifted up the cloth, knelt down to go into his trolley to see what food was in there, and he just went bright red. And he started to pull out all this food, right? His hands were shaking, putting it on top of the table. And you could tell that he'd done something wrong. Now, again, this is a luxury hotel. So I think when the staff screw up, it doesn't align with the really kind of upscale appearance that the hotel is trying to put across, right? So he knew this, and he was like, oh my God, I'm going to be shot when my manager finds out what I'd done. He took out one dish, put it on the table, and a side, and put it on the table, and then asked us to sign, and was getting more and more red, the longer he was in the room, and then he just kind of left. What we'd found out is he basically forgot my meal. So rather than making a big deal out of it, we just called up, ordered another one, and that was brought up shortly after. Anyway, that experience was hilarious. Once we'd been through that, eventually we got to sleep. Next day, we woke up and just spent the whole day in the Shard. That night, we went to eat dinner actually in the restaurant in the Shard, which is a beautiful Michelin star place. Really, really, really good food. And we were sitting down at the table just eating, and you can see the lights changing yet again. We were eating this incredible meal, and just talking about business and life. And one of the things I find when you stay in a really luxury place, like the reason I do this very often is because when I'm there, I seem to get the best ideas that make me the most money out of all of the times when I'm trying to think about my business. Like when I'm sitting down in my office or just on the sofa working on my business, like I don't always come up with the best ideas. Like I get stuff done, I'm really efficient, like I'm doing right now, like shooting videos and stuff, but I don't think too big, I'm more zoned in. So it's important to take some time to just like be in a really luxury setting, really abundant area, and just sit back and relax, and you'll find the best ideas come to you when you're in those situations. Anyway, becoming an expert was one of those ideas I had when I was in a luxury setting. Right, so we were sitting down at this meal, eating whatever it was I ordered. It was really good, and the portion wasn't tiny like you get in some really fancy restaurants. There was enough food, which was also great. And we were just discussing business. And my friend turned to me and he said, you know what? You've been doing Amazon for a while, right? You've done something like 200K on the platform. I bet there's a ton of people out there who would really benefit from the knowledge that you've gained over the short time you've been doing this. And I had to think about it, and I was like, really? I've only been doing this, at the point I'd only been doing it for about 8 or 9 months. I had made a ton of sales, but still, I always thought you had to, work on something for years and years and years before you become an expert and you actually teach other people this stuff. And so it just kind of startled me. But as I was looking out over the skyline and, again, this place was really abundant, I was in a really good state, I started to realize, you know what, that's an unbelievable idea. I had got a considerable amount of results. I do have a ton of knowledge, and people could really benefit from learning from me. So to move the story along a little bit, we put a post on Facebook, got a ton of replies. That kind of freaked me out because I'm very introverted, and being in the public eye still to this day kind of freaks me out. So I didn't know what to do with all the incoming messages. Like we were getting lots of attention, put posts on Facebook with pictures of being at the Shard and all this ridiculous stuff. And people were interested. So I started to reply them, started talking to them about what I was doing, and got some attention. And from that, I generated a few clients very quickly from people who were interested to learn what I was up to. So this was an unbelievable experience. This is how I got started, and this is what started my journey. Now, there's a few things that I think you can pick up from this experience that I want you to take away from this video, and this could really help you with your journey in becoming an expert. The first thing is that, look, I decided to become an expert. Like nobody came to me, gave me a certificate and told me that I was qualified to become an expert. I decided it was going to happen. And from that point, once I started seeing myself as an expert and believing I was an expert, and because I actually, in a way, I was, everyone else believed it as well, right? I mean, you definitely still get a few people who, question my knowledge and authority, and that's just part of selling, right? People have doubts. But for the most part, people know that I know my stuff, right? So this started with a decision. It didn't start with me being a celebrity or an author or going through some certification program to get a piece of paper, right? This came with my decision. Now, equally as important as that, the reason I came to this decision is because I knew I could get people results, right? Having a ton of PhDs and MDs and whatever other letters at the end of your name means you have a ton of knowledge, but what people really want when they invest in training and coaching and stuff like that is results. It's the ability to actually get from A to B in a certain area. That stuff matters way more than certifications. I knew I could get people results, and yes, I wasn't the best person on the planet at selling on Amazon. Some sellers do like multi-millions per month, and I was doing, 10K per month profit at the time. So I wasn't the best on the planet, but I could definitely get people results. And if you're a few steps ahead of the people you want to teach, then you are qualified to teach them if you can bring them up to your level, right? So when you're thinking about deciding whether to become an expert, this is the main factor you should take into account. Like, can you get people results or not? And it's as binary as that. Another thing is that at this point I was definitely knowledgeable about Amazon, but since then, like from doing 200K, at this point now I've done 2 million, and whilst I've been teaching people as I've been growing my business, my knowledge has just exploded. And if you compare me now to where I was then, it's night and day, like it's completely different. So one of the things that you can do when you're becoming an expert and you're doing this stuff is you can totally learn on the job. You can start with a certain amount of knowledge and be able to get certain results for people, but it's not going to stay like that. Like, you're only going to get better the more you teach people, the more knowledge you accumulate, and the longer you do it. Like in the beginning, I wasn't the best teacher. Like, I had the knowledge, but I didn't know how to teach people. So, I mean, I gave the knowledge to people and, they've found it really helpful, but my teaching abilities got more and more honed as I went through. Now, when you get better as well, your prices can increase, which is awesome, right? As my knowledge got more and more advanced, my prices increased, and obviously that's the way it should be. But learning on the job is something that's definitely going to happen when you start. So even if you're not like the perfect teacher, coach, expert in the beginning, get started first and get better as you go. So if you're thinking about becoming an expert and you want to get this stuff started and it's something you really want to do, right now you might not have the knowledge or the experience that you need to get someone results. So what do you do in that circumstance? Well, I think it's pretty clear, right? If you want to become an expert at something, there's two things you have to do. First, go out there, try and get someone results for free, right? Just try and help someone achieve something for free. If you can do this, then, and you get them results, then why not start charging? If you can't do this, then accumulate more knowledge and get to the point where you really can get someone results, then go help someone for free and get them results, then start charging, right? Alternatively, just charge a very, very minimal amount. Like the first information product I ever sold was before I actually started teaching Amazon. It was way before, a couple years before that, was using some of my music knowledge, and I charged £10. That's about 12 US dollars for some help. It proves that, people want to pay for your service, and it's not going to break the bank if everything goes wrong and, the help you provide isn't that great. Like, it doesn't really matter. So whatever it is, right, you have no excuse not to get started and become an expert at this time. Like, even if you're not an expert, you can still sell other people's affiliate programs as you move forward. So I hope you found this story inspiring. I hope you are tempted to go out there and experience some luxury surroundings and just, take a look at the big picture, take some time for yourself to come up with some big ideas for you and for your business. And I really want to create more people who are genuinely helpful experts that get people results. So if you want to learn how to get this stuff moving in the next 30 days, get sales, get traffic for free, and build an audience, then the masterclass link is in the description below. Make sure you check it out. Also, join my Facebook group and subscribe to the channel for more videos on how to sell digital products. All right, thanks so much for watching this. Hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll catch you soon.